Welcome back to Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Sam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back to the Lovely Lab. All right, so today I'm popping on to just do a little guest check, gussy up and chat, a little chit chat with the guest checks. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the crafty uploads, any of the DIYs, journal creations, and ephemera and stuff like that, and a couple hauls sprinkled throughout. All right. Now, my last video was on stenciling in the gratitude journals, and while I had the supplies still out, I wanted to just, go ahead and do a little stash building for journal cards and however else I plan on using these guest checks. Now, one of the things that I did while my son was testing, because sometimes that's the only time I used some, actually they're called paint sticks. I found these at the Dollar General, and if you hold for just a second, I'm going to pull them out. You think I would have had these ready, right? These are the paint sticks that I used. And let's see, I used these paint sticks. What I did was I took the paint stick out, scribbled on some acetate, added a few drops of water, and then I used a little watercolor. It's not even a watercolor brush. It's what they call premium paint brushes that I found at the Dollar General. And I'm going to tell you something. I have bought some expensive paint brushes, with the certain type of hairs in them, and I don't like them. And they, they weren't cheap, but you would have thought that they were by the way they fell apart. Anyways, and how the hairs are in projects and stuff. But these these paint brushes, I think they're like $2 for the pack or $3 for the pack, and they came with, let me see, a variety of different brushes. So I'm going to show you the ones that they have. I showed them in a previous haul, I think. These are the ones that they came with. And this is the one that I used for the watercolor. While it doesn't have the graduated tip, they worked wonderfully. They hold a lot of the watercolor paint on there. And then I used this one for the decoupaging. So if you are in the market for some decent paint brushes and you don't have a lot of money to spend on art supplies and craft supplies, check out your local Dollar General. I'm not sure if they have them at any of the other discount convenience stores, but for what it's worth, these work wonderfully. Moving right along. So I scribbled the paint sticks down, added a few drops of water, grabbed the paintbrush, and then I just made some random art on here. Now this, I just used the Vicky Bouton art crayons, and I really didn't like the way it looked when I drew it down. And I applied it, and then I just added water over it. So that's just a tip. Don't do it that way, okay? But these weren't expensive, but I love the way the smooth color that you get with them, the smooth watercolor. As opposed to the inexpensive watercolor paint palette, with the 10 in them or whatever. Those are a little chalky. The cheaper they are, the more chalky they are. So you don't get the same consistency. Anyways, so I wanted to just create some bases that I can work from in the future. Now I did the watercolor on those, and today I want to try and do some stenciling on the other ones. And I saw that this one has a key on it, so I'm going to try and maybe add a couple keys or something like that to one or two of the, let me take it out the book. That might help. Just might help. So let's see what we can get with this. I should use the washi tape to mask it off, in which case I think I am. Thought I had some. Okay. So that's something you definitely want to do if you don't want, one, to hold it down, and two, to mask off the areas around it so that you don't get those same imprints on whatever you're working on. You don't want pieces. Well, maybe you do want pieces of it. I don't know. That's up to you. It's totally up to you how you do that. But for me, I'm going to mask this off a little bit. And it can be a bit tedious. Yes, I understand. But it's worth it. Especially if you're doing more than one. So I'm going to do these two right here. So let's just see what we can get done. I'm going to use the black Tim Holtz. Well, let me just start with the walnut same because it's the easiest and it's the closest. It's the one that's closest by. And I'm going to use this here brush. It may have some red on it, but I don't really care. So now you do have to be, if you're using one of these, bring this a little closer. If you're using one of these brushes, you do have to be a little careful because sometimes the hairs can go underneath your stencil, which distorts the image. Yeah, know what I'm saying. And the area that you want to have darkened is the area that you're obviously going to go over a little bit more than the other. So if you want like a gradient, we call it, not umbro. It's not ombre. I said umbro. What do you call it? I guess it is an ombre. If you want it to be darkened, you know, go from light to dark, then you're just going to want to apply and blend. Apply more to that area and then blend out. And I'm not trying to be, this is not an exact science, so, you know, it really comes down to trial and error. And I always, if I'm concerned about doing it on a project and I'm looking for perfection, I always try it out on scrap first. So let's see what we got here. Ooh, isn't that cute? I could have brought that down some, but let's just do one more with that same set. This time we'll try black. And I got this guest check from a fellow creative. I think, actually, I got that from Katina, and I haven't heard from her in a while. I hope everybody's doing well during our little pandemic we got going on here. Well, everywhere actually, right? So I'm doing black now. And because I still want to be able to write over it and still see the wording, I'm not going to go too dark on certain areas. I just want to do a light coloring so as to have it defined enough to see it, but not so dark that we can't see the writing. Should I desire to use this as a journal card. And I can't be here all day because, again, we got to get back to classwork. I love this brush. You do have to wash it to get the color off. I do use just regular old dish detergent. Now look at that. That is adorable, isn't it? That serves as a great base. And I'm going to move that off to the side. And let's just see what we have here. That's just a couple of them. Let me grab another. I think I got time for one more. Let's do a flower stencil. Let's see what we got. I like this one that I used on the book, especially because you have one print for entire. Well, that's cute. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that with the butterflies. I think I would have saw that first. And, you know, you can layer your different your different stencils so that you can get a basically a like a little picture, you know. So, like I think I mentioned in my last video that they have canceled baseball for this for the month. It's probably going to last the entire season. While schools have been canceled locally, that has not had any form of an effect on what we do, because we belong to a virtual academy, a virtual school. So let me get some tape. So it's business as usual for us. Nothing changed at all. So, and I know my son thinks it's not fair, but honestly, I don't want his education interrupted by all of this. I would prefer that we move on and he continues his classwork, continues learning, and we resume as much normalcy in our lives as possible, because when all this is said and done, they still got to get back to educating. So, and I know a lot of parents are not used to being home with their kids all day, so this is not the easiest thing, but it does kind of make us to stop and take a quick reflection on our educating professionals, the ones that we entrust our children to every day. And, you know, they're with those people throughout the day, all day, multiple children in one room with a couple of adults, at the most, a couple of adults. And the patience that they must have in order to not only take care of our kids and make sure that they're safe, but to make sure that they get the education that we send them there for. So, you know, it's times like this that help us to look at some things that are very, you know, look at things that are important and weigh those against the things that, you know, can be a distraction in our lives. You know, sometimes we get bent out of shape because the teacher send something home, or, you know, a classwork, homework, or the grade on a report. And we feel that maybe it should be handled in a different way. And now we're all at home with our kids. We see how much attention they are able to spend on their classes. We are also able to see how easily distracted they are, and sometimes how difficult they can be. And this is what our teachers deal with 5 days out of the week for the pay that they get, which, by the way, is nothing to buy a second home with, for the most part. Okay. Oh, that came out very nice. Very nice indeed. So yeah, you know, I think it's times like this that help us to have a little bit more compassion for our teachers and our educators and the administrators as well. You know, we have principals and assistant principals and the people in the office that, you know, they come in contact with our kids as well. You know, and they are on the front. They're fighting for our kids' future. Fighting to make sure, and sometimes they're fighting not just the kids, but the parents too, to ensure that these kids at the end of the year, no matter what, walk away with a decent education, an education that they can build upon. It may not, you know, if your kid's in the 5th grade, obviously they're not going to go out and get a job next year. But it's the education that they earn that year that 6th grade is going to rely on, and so on and so forth. So, you know, again, we're home with our kids. We're seeing some things that maybe we weren't aware of, but at the same time, it gives us an opportunity to maybe make some corrections in their behaviors or in their perspectives as well as our own. So, you know, all things work together for the good if you allow them to. So, because it is a matter of perspective. I hope I'm in frame. It's about a matter of perspective. Now, on a lighter note, I will say I have been out to the grocery store, and I am so thankful for the new technology that has allowed our local grocers, Walmart, Kroger's, Publix, Wegmans if you're up north, Tops, and all of those other chains to be able to accommodate online grocery shopping, because I'm still shopping and taking care of 2 homes, my home as well as my dad's. And I don't think I could do it if I had to be in the store literally picking up groceries for both households. I could not do it. I could not do it. The time that it takes in order to get the specific items that you aren't necessarily looking for, that you don't necessarily look for. Like if you know what type of mayonnaise your household eats, but if you have to go looking for Blue Ribbon, or is it Blue Ribbon, Blue Plate, whatever it's called, I don't eat it, mayonnaise, and that's not what you're familiar with, you actually have to scan that shelf a little bit to find it, and try doing that for 40 different products for someone else. So while it may take me an hour to grocery shop for my home, and I'm shopping for 3 people, it typically takes me 45 minutes for me to shop for my dad for a week and a half worth of groceries, because he doesn't eat the things that we eat, because he has a diabetic diet. He has to eat special things and so on and so forth. So I'm excited. I'm not excited, but I'm happy that they have this service for us, because without it, it just takes a lot more time away. It takes time away from the things that I still have to do regardless. I'm just trying to find a way to get one more on here, but I don't want the same one. Okay, that's a different one. Get it off to the side. So yeah, so these online stores and shops, it's a godsend, because time is limited. And if I had some extra spare time, I don't want to be using it shopping. I'd like to think that I could use it to create with, or hang out with my babies, my husband and my son, if I have some extra spare time lying around. All right, so let's take a look at the ones that we got here. Ain't but 4, but hey, 4 is better than none. So we have these 4s. We've got the keys. We got the butterflies. I think they came out really cute. Now, let me see what else I want to add to these. I probably will add some stitching to them. Actually, I'm going to leave them as they are. But I'm glad I had a chance to hop on and chit-chat for a minute and feel like I'm accomplishing something, because Lord knows I have not gotten a chance to sit here and create. Also, I feel bad when my husband comes home and he's like dog tired. Not to say that I'm not, but I mean, I'm here all day. So I don't feel at 8 o'clock at night, after I get finished running around the house and cooking dinner, cleaning up, spending time with the boy, it would probably hurt his feelings a little bit if that 1 extra hour we got left of the daytime, of up times, awake time, that I'm in my crafting space. That wouldn't be fair to him, considering he's been away from his family and away from home all day. I don't want to appear selfish, so I set my crafting aside, spend time with my family, and in hopes that the next day will open up a part of it, an hour or 30 minutes, that I can do a little something. Don't always happen like that, but whatever. Anywho, so that's that. I'm glad you guys were able to, I was able to hop on and just get a little something done and build some type of stash. I know I'll be using this in some upcoming crafts, and if I don't, maybe you'll find it in a rack that I'll send out. Who knows? But I hope you guys continue to busy yourselves, take care of yourself, rest, stay up to date on how to keep your home and yourself safe and healthy, and check on a neighbor, check on your elderly, but more importantly, stay centered and grounded. All right, now until we're back here again on YouTube, guys, stay encouraged, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative in crafting. I'm sorry, I got distracted by a little bird out the window, just a cute little robin. This might have been a red something. Anyways, bye for now. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up.
Hit subscribe to join the crafty community and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.